Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah. Probably watching people do coke in the bathroom. You got cameras of that. They were probably doing all kinds of shit.
He was compromising a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And made a shit ton of money doing it.
God damn, he sure did.
Boy, that's what's really weird. Like, he got gifted a giant mansion in Manhattan by that the dude from Victoria's Secret.
Yeah. And then that guy was like, yeah, he was just running my finances, but then I didn't realize what kind of guy he was. But I gave him billions of dollars to manage. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's what you do?
I didn't know what kind of a guy he was after he got arrested for having sex with underage girls.
And so then I stopped working with him.
Whew.
Okay.
My favorite one was when they were questioning Bill Gates about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, he's dead now, so you got to be careful. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's it? That's his statement?
It's crazy. She asked him, like, why he had, these interactions with Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
And he's essentially saying, it was a mistake. I was hoping that he was going to do a lot of work with philanthropy.
Sure.
He's going to help me out with philanthropy.
Right. That's why I meet with him so many times.
But the end result, the final statement that was chilling, he's like, he's dead now, so you have to be careful. Like, what?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? What do you mean? Be careful to not hang yourself in jail, which is what the official story is, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Be careful or you'll hang yourself in jail? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, it's not what you're saying.
That's
you're
not
saying
what
be
you're saying.
careful because someone killed him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is what we all think. Which is why there's no fucking, the cameras were down, which is why the guards were asleep, which is why his gigantic roommate, who was a murderer and a drug-dealing cop who assassinated people, who's built like a fucking gorilla. You ever see his roommate?
No.
You never saw Jeffrey Epstein's roommate?
Uh-uh.
Oh, boy.
He had a cellmate when he was there?
Bro, not only did he have a cellmate, he had a cellmate that had murdered several people in drug deals, who was a cop. And he was a gigantic, roided-up psychopath. This is the roommate.
I remember...
You can get that guy to kill him for extra cigarettes, is what my point is. He's in jail for life.
I remember...
Look at him.
That guy?
That guy. That was his fucking roommate. Just imagine what kind of a plan you would have for the biggest defendant in any sort of high-level espionage, possibly involving foreign governments, and you'd put him in a prison cell, a cage, with a guy who's committed 4 different murders.
That guy was a cop?
Yes.
Fuck.
Look at the build on this motherfucker. Look at the size of this guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy?
He liked
put
dogs.
A murderer?
That's nice.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy. You put a murderer... Well, he had to have a bunch of things barking in case anyone came near his property to get back at him.
Do you remember that famous forensic...
Michael Baden.
Michael Baden.
Yeah.
He testified that the hyoid, I think it's called the hyoid bone, that was snapped on Epstein was far more consistent with, as he says, a homicide.
Yeah.
Than, so it just bothers me so much that he says it like that.
A homicide?
Yeah. He says
I think he said it was broken in 2 places.
He's like, that's much more consistent with homicide than suicide.
Yeah, it was someone strangled him. Someone strangled him from behind. It was also the position. Here it is. Play this.
Well, it's at the end, I think, but
That's okay.
regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. And I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. That's what I get up every day and focus on.
Me too. I'm a good guy.